Congratulations. My name is Robert Rico, U.S. Realty Training, and this is the incredible video crash course for the state of California. You're here, you made it. Again, congratulations. I'm rooting for you. You're one step away. You're one step away from getting your real estate license. All you have to do is pass that state exam. So what the hell am I doing here? Well, I'm gonna help you get there. I'm gonna help you pass that state exam. I'm gonna help you pass that state exam the very first time, but you gotta focus, all right? I want you to give me your undivided attention when we're on this video, right? It's just you and me. It's just you and me, nobody else, right? This is the advantage of this video, right? There's not a big class in front of me and a lot of conversations here and questions from this student here. It's just you and me. So what I wanna do for you is I want to explain everything you need to know for that state exam, because you deserve to change your life. You deserve to go out and earn that real estate license. Changed my life. The minute I got my real estate license, changed my life. In fact, let me share that with you. I got my license back in 1995. Now I want to take you to the day that I actually took the state exam. Imagine this, 1995, a long time ago. I remember preparing for that state exam. I totally remember preparing for that state exam. I wasn't gonna let anything stop me from passing that state exam. I was gonna kick that state exam's butt. So I practiced the questions, and I studied the material. We didn't have videos back then to where we can study off of videos, but we did have some pertinent resources that I took advantage of. So I studied because I was going to go in there and I knew I was going to pass the first time. So anyways, the day of the test, I go in there and sure, I'm a little nervous, but I get there and I'm confident and I'm feeling good. Why am I feeling good? Because I know darn well I study. I walk in there, I sit down, they hand you the material, I take the exam, and I'm taking the exam and it seems rather simple for me. I'm like, damn, this seems pretty simple. Well, it's simple because I was prepared, right? So I'm going through it, and I'm done. And I look up, and the room is full of other people taking the exam, right? So I stop, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm done, but no one's gotten up yet. That must mean, of course, I'm the first one done. Weird, isn't it? I'm like, holy smokes, I must have done something wrong. There is no way in hell I'm getting up and handing in my exam. This is too good to be true. So I said, did I do something wrong? It couldn't have been this easy. So what did I do? I said, I'm gonna wait for somebody else to get up before I get up and hand in my exam to the proctor there. And that's what I did. I waited for somebody else to get up first, and then I followed them and handed in my exam to the proctor. Piece of cake. Before you know it, they informed me that I passed the very first time. It was so simple for me, but because I focused when it came to my studying. Now this is the deal. We're now in today's time. It's now your time to shine. It's now your time to change your life. Again, one more hurdle, and that's the state exam. And all you gotta do is pass it. Allow me to share with you how to pass that state exam. I did it the very first time, and I was confident. I want you to walk into the state exam, and I want you to be confident. Got it? So let's take this ride together. Let's groove together. Let's make it happen together. But you gotta follow me. You gotta focus. You gotta focus on me, on the words that are coming out of my mouth, on the concepts. You got it? I won't let you down, so don't you let yourself down. Here we go. You ready for this? One step away. You ready? Here we go. Let's do this together. All right. Again, U.S. Realty Training for the state of California. Right here where I live in the beautiful state of California. Where am I located? I'm located right here in the beautiful Los Angeles area. I don't care if you're in Sacramento. I don't care if you're in San Diego. I don't care if you're in, Orange County. Doesn't matter. San Francisco. Anywhere in the state of California, welcome. Let's get this thing done. All right, first things first, some information I want you to know about the state exam. All right, number one, when you walk into the state exam, I want you to expect, because this is the way it works, 150 questions. You're gonna have 150 multiple choice questions. 150 multiple choice questions. You have 3 hours to complete these questions. 3 hours, seems like a very long time. That's fine. The test is taken at an approved testing center. They'll tell you exactly where you have to go to take the exam. It's none of this at-home testing, none of this. No, no, no. They're going to say you have to take it here, here, and here. Not just that, you have to bring 2 forms of ID to the testing center. This is all legit, man. This is all official procedure. So get ready, bring 2 forms of ID. And the most important part of this exam is this. You have to get a minimum of 70%. 70%. That's not so bad, right? Now listen, this is the deal. This isn't rocket science, right? Let's get this out of the way. This isn't rocket science if you put your mind to it. You got it? But it's also not an elementary book type of situation. It's not super easy and it's not super hard. You can do this. 70%. That's all you need to pass. With me? Good. Let's keep going. If you're preparing for the broker's exam, slightly different instructions. That's going to be 200 questions, 200 multiple choice questions, but you get more time. You get 4 hours. It's a lot of time, man. 4 hours. 4 hours. Again, the test is taken at an approved center. Again, you got to bring 2 forms of ID. And this is also a little bit more trickier. You have to get a 75% to earn that broker's license. You got it? 75%. Not a big deal. That's the way the DRE has it, what they want you to do. You can do it. That's their requirements. All right? All right, let's go. Now, FYI, just so you know, we have an app. US Realty Training has an app. You can take these exam prep things all over the place with you. If you have the app on your phone, on the bus, on the train, wherever you are, you can study on your app, anywhere you're at. We make it nice and convenient. What else do you want? You're welcome. Got it? Good. We want to make sure you're set. We want to make sure you're set. Now, with this crash course video, you also get the ebook, the crash course ebook. Now listen, this is the deal. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. But what did I tell you, 10 minutes ago? When I was preparing for my state exam back in 1995, I used every resource that was available, man. Every single resource. Hey, I'm giving you this resource. Take a look at it. You'll probably benefit from it, right? Use it. It's part of the package. Hell, I almost said it was free. It's part of the package. Use it. You got this. I, Robert Rico, head instructor here at US Realty Training, advise that you use it. Take a look at it. All right? Now, again, you're not required to use it if you don't want to use it, but why not? In the workbook, it has all 7 categories that you'll be tested on by the state. Right? So it breaks it down beautifully. Clear, concise, so you know exactly what you have to study, what categories you have to study. Hey, you're going to pass this exam. I believe in you. You just got to believe in yourself. Resources. Utilize the resources. Utilize the resources. I don't want you to come in with an attitude of, well, I just want the answers to the test. It doesn't work that way, right? Together, we're going to learn the concepts. We're going to use resources. We're going to get this done the right way. Now, these are the 7 categories that you'll be tested on. Stick with me. Don't let me lose you. Focus. Focus. 7 categories. First category is going to be property ownership and land use controls and regulations. That's approximately 15% of the exam. It's a pretty big chunk. The next category is laws of agency and fiduciary duties, 17%. Another good chunk. The third is property valuation and financial analysis. That's a mouthful. That's 14%. The next one is financing. That's 9%. The 5th category is transfer of property, 8%, not so much. The 6th category, the largest category, is practice of real estate and disclosures. They really hit you on that one, but that's okay because that's my specialty. We're going to be a master at practice of real estate and disclosures. You got it? No need to worry. I got your back. And the last one is going to be contracts, 12%. There you have it. The 7 categories. Let's keep moving. Now, this is the deal. What I want you to do is this. I want you to start off by logging into your online account. You should have received a confirmation email when you registered for this. Number two, I want you to, the system will provide you access to the state exam prep system. Utilize it. Again, keyword, resources. Utilize the resource. This is a beautiful resource. It's taken us a lot of time to put this together for you to benefit. You're welcome. Again, this is a gift we're giving you. Use it, man. Use it. And the third step is you'll have access to all the example questions covered in these slides. There are over 1,000 sample exam questions. Again, resources. Utilize them. Utilize them. They're there. I'm giving them to you. Let's keep on moving. Now, here's a few tips. These are important. Here are a few tips that I want you to know on the day of your exam and the days before the state exam. These tips I want you to remember up until the point of you taking that exam. Tip number one, take the practice exams that are given to you. On the state exam prep package that comes with this program, take it. Take the state exam practice tests. What I want you to do is I want you to get at least an 80% or higher, minimum 5 times. That's highly my recommendation to you. We're going to provide you with mock state exams. Mock state exams, just like the state exam that you'll be taking on that scheduled date. It's going to be 150 questions. It's going to be timed right there on your computer at home, 3 hours, just like the state exam. And I want you to take those mock state exams over and over and over until you get approximately 80% or better at least 5 times. If you do that, I can almost guarantee you're going to pass. I want you to, number 2, review your practice exams and focus on the categories and questions you struggle with. Take your time in understanding the questions and correct answers. This isn't just willy-nilly, well, I guess it's this answer. No, I want you to pump the brakes, and I really want you to absorb the information. You got to absorb it, man. This is all about concepts. This is all about understanding concepts. You can do it. Last but not least, number 3, don't seek to memorize questions and answers. Instead, seek to understand the concepts. There it is. I had no idea that was coming up. Beautiful, beautiful segue, right? Because it's important. Once you understand the concepts, you can figure it out. Once you know the rules of the game, you can play the game, right? So let's understand the information, and then we can answer anything. Now, you want to know why you're going to be able to answer just about anything? Because I'm going to teach you something that's important. I'm going to teach you that a $5 bill is a $5 bill, that it is what it is. When it comes to these exams, I don't want you to overthink. Study long, study wrong. Now, what that means is don't overthink. It is what it is. A $5 bill is a $5 bill. It is not $4.99 and it is not $5.01. It's face value. And most of the questions, and not all of them, if not all of them, is exactly that. Study long, study wrong. Don't overthink it and talk yourself out of the correct answer. I've seen many students fail by 1 or 2 points because they changed their answer. Relax, pump the brakes. Study long, study wrong, which means don't overthink it. Got it? Now, test day tips. Now, what do I want you to do to prepare for the day of the exam? Right? You're going to be nervous. You're probably up the night before studying. I want you to be early. Get there early. The last thing you need is another stress in your life, but traffic, right? Or you got to go get gas in the car. Have the gas filled up in your car before the day of. Do it the night before, a couple days before. Fill it up. You don't want any excuse to be there late. Get there early. Number 2, if absolutely unsure and you can't remove any obvious options, I want you to pick C. I want you to pick C. You got it? Just pick C. If you have no idea, even after doing a process of elimination, you still have no idea, pick C. 3, there are typically 2 good options and typically 2 bad options. All right? Focus, of course, on the 2 good options. Now you at least now have 50-50 shot. You with me? So look for the 2 obvious answers that it cannot be and focus on the 2 that it can be. Go from there. We're going to funnel it from here, boom, right here. Next one. If you don't know it, skip it. Then go back to it at the end. This is crucial. This is very, very important. I don't want you to kill 10 minutes on one question. Each question's value is exactly the same. Question 3, which was very hard for you, it's got the same value as question 50. There's no need to spend 10 minutes on question 3. Skip it, move on, and then you can go back to question 3. You got it? Boom. Let's keep on moving. Next one, number 5. Your first guess is usually correct unless you have a revelation, right? This is the deal. This tip is not on here, but I want to give it to you. This we'll call 5.5. How about that? There's times where you're going to have 4 options for the answers on the multiple choice. 4 options for the answer. And you read A, and A is correct. And you say, well, here it is, A. And you select A. You're confident it's A. So you don't even bother reading B, C, or D. Because the correct answer, the first one you read was A. So you did not read B, C, or D. However, D was, the answer is, D could be, correct answer is A or B. And that's the correct answer, A or B. But you never read B. And B could have been the correct answer also. Hence, the D option was A or B. That makes sense? So I do want you to read all the options. Read all the options you have for the answers. Now, number 6, if you finish early, get the hell out of there. Leave. You will be handed an envelope with your results right then and there. This is pretty neat. You worked your tail off for months and months and months. You earned your 3 certificates by passing those exams, those finals for those 3 courses you took, right? Now they're handing you an envelope. And in that envelope, it's going to say, congratulations, you passed. Immediately, the minute you walk out, they're going to hand you your envelope and your results. And I believe in you. It's going to say, congratulations. So you finish, get out of there. They're going to hand you the envelope, and I want you to open it up in the parking lot. Congratulations. It's going to say, you passed. And here it begins, your brand new career. Congratulations. All right? At least keep on moving. Now let's get to the actual categories. You ready for this? You ready for this? We already talked about pumping you up. We already talked about the realistic of you passing if you properly study, if you utilize the resources, if you focus right here. Look at my eyes. It's you and me. How bad do you want this? You ready? How bad do you want this? Only you know down in your soul how bad you want this. I want this for you. But you got to do the work. Here we go. Category 1, property ownership and land use. What does that mean? Well, we're going to be discussing these items here. It looks like a lot of words. It is a lot of words. Don't worry about it. It's all going to make sense. It's all going to make sense. There's a lot of words. Let me just quickly read them for you. Here we go. Classes of property. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Property characteristics. We'll talk about that. Encumbrances. Not a big deal. Types of ownership. So what? Descriptions of property. That sounds pretty simple. Government rights and land. What about it? Public controls. And then, how about environmental hazard and regulations? Not a big deal. Private controls. So what? Water rights. Yeah. And last but not least, special categories of land. We're going to cover this, but we're going to cover it nice, swift, concise, clear. Got it? We're going to do this nice and simple. I mean, look at your screen. You're probably already thinking, my God, this is overwhelming. It's not. It's not. Don't let your mind trick you. I'm going to clear it all up. Here we go. First one, classes of property. All right? Now, ownership is a fundamental component in real estate. It's nothing. It means nothing. We all have the right to own real estate, right? We all have the right to own real estate here in the good old United States of America. Sure, we have the right to do that. It is considered a basic right for everybody. Work your tail off, get a down payment, save up enough for a down payment on a house to get a loan. You could win the lottery, don't need a loan, go buy a house cash, but you have the right to buy property in the United States of America. Why not, right? It's a free country. Beautiful, easy, not a big deal, right? Nothing so hard yet, nothing so complicated. And there's another reason why people want to buy property, and typically it's because of the bundle of rights. The bundle of rights means if this is my domain, if this is my house, I bought it, it's mine, I have certain rights. I can paint the walls black if I want. I can paint the walls purple if I want. I'm a big Prince fan, right? Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. That song, right? I want to paint the walls purple. Sure, you could. Why? Because the bundle of rights. What are the bundle of rights? Well, if I own this place, this is my domain, this is my home, I am the owner, I have the right to what's called uptee. And I want you to know uptee for your exam. I want you to know what uptee is for your exam because I guarantee you're going to see it on your exam. Now, what is uptee? Well, because I own this place, I have the right to the letter U. I have the right to use it any way I want, as long as I'm not breaking the law. So the letter U is for use. The next letter in uptee is P. I have the right to possess it. I'm on title, I have the right to P, possess it. What does that mean? It means if you come over and visit, you're not the owner, you're a visitor. If you come over and visit and you get drunk and you get belligerent, I have the right to say, hey, you know what? Get the heck out of my house. Get out of here, party's over. I have the right to possess it, not you. Got it? So U is use, P is possess. Now we got T. T is transfer. I have the right to transfer my property. Now how can I transfer my property? Well, I have the right to sell it. I have the right to gift it. I have the right to donate it. I have the right to will it. It's my house, my property. I have the right to transfer it. And that's what the T is for. Now we have the first E, encumber. I have the right to encumber it. I have the right to encumber it. Whoa, that's a new word, encumber. What does that mean, encumber? Encumber means put baggage on this house. You got to carry baggage with this house, right? Now, what kind of baggage with this house? Loans. Loans. You have a right to get loans on this house. You have a right to get loans on this house. Those are called liens. You're allowed to get liens on this house if you choose to. If you want to put a pool in the backyard, you have the right to go out and get a loan. And based on the equity of this house, if this house has equity, you're allowed to get a loan on the house. If you want to send Johnny to college, right, because he deserves it, he's a good student, and you need the money to send him to college, you have the right to encumber the property. Put another loan on top of the house. Encumber. What a beautiful system, right? Utilize your own equity that's in your house to get something you really need, whether it's education or pay off medical bills or put that nice pool in the backyard. That'd be nice, huh? On a nice summer day, sure. So you have the right to encumber it. And last but not least, the second E is enjoy. You have the right to enjoy your property. There you have it. That's one of the first things that you'll probably see on your state exam. Uptee, the bundle of rights. If you own property, you have the right to the bundle of rights. What is it? It's uptee. Use, possess, transfer, encumber, and enjoy. You got it. There it is. There it is. Look at the very bottom there of your screen. It says property, rights or interest a person has in the thing owned. Could be a piece of land, could be a house, could be a business. Rights or interests a person has in the thing owned. Nice and simple. We're just getting started. We're just now traveling down the runway. Here we go. Now, this is the deal with classes of property. It's either going to be real property or personal property. Ready? There's a key word that I want you to know for your state exam. Actually, there's two words I want you to know for the state exam when it comes to labeling property, whether it's real or personal. Real or personal. Ready? Here we go. Real property. Immovable. Means you can't move it. Real property, immovable. That's the first word I want you to know. Second word I want you to know is attached. Real. Real property typically is attached to the house and it's immovable. You can't move it. Whenever you see the word immovable or attached, think real. Boom, there you have it. There you have it. Nice and simple lesson right there when it comes to real property. If something is attached, real. If something is immovable, real. I'll give you an example. The most prime example for this is a chandelier hanging from the ceiling. A chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Is that real or is that personal? Keyword here is attached. If it's attached, it's real, it stays. Nice and simple. Well, if that's the case, what is personal property? Personal property, you can move it. It's just thrown there on the ground or thrown there on the table, right? I don't know, a lawnmower, just sitting there on the ground. You can move it. Personal property. Got a microwave on the counter. I could pick it up and move it. Personal property. A bicycle in the garage. I could pick it up and move it. Personal. Now you see the difference. If it's attached to the walls or to the ceiling or to the property, it's real. And it typically remains with the property when sold. If it's personal, haul it away when you move. Put it in the U-Haul truck. That's the difference. Got it? Take a look at your screen there. Real property is immovable by law. An example would be land, trees, buildings, fences that are dug into the ground, of course, and other things that are permanently attached on the land. Keyword there, look at your screen. It's underlined. What else do you want? Attached, attached, attached. Now, how is real property transferred? How do I transfer real property if I want to give it away or will it away or sell it away? By the transfer of a deed. By the transfer of a deed, right? I want you to know that. When it comes to real property, the transfer of a deed. Boom, here it is, in front of a notary. I own this house and I'm willingly giving it over to you. Boom. When it comes to personal property, typically it's a bill of sale. A bill of sale. Personal property, a bill of sale. Let's keep going. Here we got a whole thing here on personal property, which we just discussed. You see how simple this is? I planted the seed on the last slide. Now you know exactly what we're going to do here. Personal property, also known as chattel. Please know that for your exam. Also known as chattel. Think of chattel as cattle. Cattle, things that move around out in the fields. That's actually the way they used to categorize it back in the day, a long time ago. Cattle was personal property. Personal property. Hey, that's my cattle over there. It was property, personal property. So I want you to remember that when it comes to personal property, it's also known as chattel. In your head, you're going to think cattle. You got it? Now, what is examples of it would be cars, electronics, furniture, lawnmower, hanging wall art. Nice and simple. Hey, I'm rooting for you. Focus, you got this. Nice and simple. You got this. Focus. All right? Anything not permanently attached is personal property. In fact, I want you to remember this. The stronger it's attached to something, the more likely it is real property. Let me say that again. The stronger it's attached, the more likely it is real. Chandelier, very attached, very real. You got it? There you go. Now, personal property can be hypothecated, which means put down as collateral, alienated, or can sometimes become real property via annexation. I want you to know annexation. I want you to know annexation. So what is annexation? Well, it's when you have private property, personal property. It's when you have personal property, could be private also, but personal property, we'll say a ceiling fan sitting here in a box. You just bought it from, I don't know, a particular store that you enjoy. A ceiling fan. It's hot as hell in the summertime and you went out and bought a ceiling fan and it's right there. You got home and you put it right there on the table. It's still personal property. It's right there. You're sitting on the table. It's personal property. You say, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and put it up now. So you go ahead and get the ladder and you go ahead and get on the ladder. Your wife hands you the ceiling fan, or your husband. In my case, my wife's the one that does all that handiwork. I'm not very good at handiwork, by the way. So I'll hand it to my wife on the ladder. She gets up there and she starts to mess with the wires and she screws that ceiling fan up on the ceiling. By doing that, it's just became real property. It is now attached. You with me? At one point, it was personal property. When I brought it home, it was right there sitting there. It was personal property. But we made it, what? Yeah, real property by attaching it. And that's called annexation. Please know annexation. Annexation. Making personal property into a real property. The ceiling fan. All right, let's keep on trucking here. Now, types of real property that are appurtenant, or what we call run with the land. Please know this. Please know what run with the land. Types of real property that run with the land. Got it? Now, these are things that a real piece of land, because land is real property, that a piece of land, which is real property, in many cases, comes with these items, whether you like it or not. You'll think, but aren't they personal property items? And they're not. They run with the land. When you buy this piece of land, guess what? You're also getting this whether you like it or not. It just comes with the land, and we call that running with the land. An example would be an easement. Water company stock, covenants, and minerals run with the land and do not require a separate conveyance. It's understood that these items come with the land. I'll give you an example in a second. Improvements or structures built upon the land, foundations, framing, and roofing, not a big deal. Now let's talk about running with the land. Let's assume you buy a condo. Ooh, nothing wrong with that. You buy a condominium. Some people like condominiums, sure. My wife is one in particular who likes condominiums. The safety of being in a condo, right? Especially if you're in a high rise. Nothing wrong. Safety, sure, right? So you buy a condo, and it comes with 2 parking spaces. That runs with the land. That's appurtenant with your purchase. Let's assume, another example. Let's assume you buy a piece of property that's on the street. You know, you got a street front, and there's a house in the back. Its own separate APN number, a house in the back, different owner. But the only way the owner can get to his house in the back of your house is to run through your land. That's called an easement. Well, that easement is there, it exists, and it runs with the land. You in the front will have to tolerate this because that easement exists. Are there ways to remove this easement? Yeah, but we'll talk about that later. But that easement runs with the land. Runs with the land in the front, and it runs with the land in the back. Without this easement, the owner in the back can't get to his property unless he comes and goes in a helicopter, and that's not going to happen. That makes sense? So some things, when you purchase them, when you purchase real property, have items that are pertinent to the land, or what we call run with the land. Here we go. Real property fixture test. So how do we know if something is a fixture? Now this is key here. This is key. Now a fixture, I want you to remember that a fixture and attached always go together. Think of a fixture. Think of any fixture. You know, a towel holder thingy in your bathroom where the bath towel hangs on. It's attached to the wall. So there's ways to test if something is real or personal. Real or personal property. How do we test it? I want you to know this one right here. Right there in front of you. It's the fixture test we call Maria. If it passes all these, we'll know it's real property. Here we go. First one is M. The M stands for the method of attachment. Again, I told you before, the stronger it's attached, the more likely it is real. The method of attachment. Sure, that's hugely important. An example would be, on this real quick, an example would be a doghouse. A doghouse, you know, sitting there on a back porch. Personal. But if the method of attachment is that it's drilled to the back porch, it's drilled, it's super attached, it just became real. Next one, adaptability of the item. The adaptability of the item. Was it made for this window? Was it made for a particular section? Was this built-in cabinet built right here because it would only fit right here? The adaptability of the item. Next one, relationship of the parties. If you got a buyer and a seller, and the seller says, hey, see that there? It stays. I don't want it. You can have it. And it's attached, enough said. If he says, no, I'm going to take that down. That real property, that chandelier, I'm taking it down. Well, when he takes it down, it's called severance, right? You have real property and then now becomes what? Yeah, personal property. That's called severance, which is the opposite of what? Annexation. Remember that, annexation? When you have it on the table and put it up, annexation. When you have it up and you bring it down, it just became personal property. That's called severance. So the relationship with the parties, they have to communicate and say, well, what about this item here? Number 4, the intention of party when attaching the item. The intention of the party when attaching the item. We'll imagine a tenant who moves into an apartment building, right? And he's not too comfortable in that neighborhood, but that's all he can afford. And when he moves in, he attaches an alarm by the front door. He screws it in to the alarm system. Well, technically and by definition, it is now what? Yeah, real property. Why is it real property? Because it's attached. However, number 4, which says the intention of the party when attaching the item, he will, of course, inform the landlord or the owner of the complex. Hey, listen, I'm putting this up for my personal use. It ain't staying. The minute I move out, it's coming with me. So the intention of the party, in this case, the tenant, that's a test of saying whether it's personal or real. In this case, it's personal property. Sure, by technicality, once he puts it in, and by definition, once he screws it in, it became real property. But his intention is to take it when he leaves. Hence, it goes back to annexation and severance. Annexation, personal, put it on, became real. Severance, boom, it's real. I'm taking it off. It just became severance. Get excited. You got this. Don't let me lose you. Some of this is dry, but don't let me lose you. You got this. You got this. You got this. Last but not least, agreement of the parties. Everybody agrees. When it comes to a contract, just put it in the contract. When it's, best thing to do is when in doubt, write it out. When in doubt, write it out in the contract. This is staying, this goes, this goes. When in doubt, write it out in the contract. Number 5, agreement of the parties. And the most secure agreement of parties is putting it in the darn contract. Got it? This is a way to test if something is real or personal. You're going to see this in your state exam. We just said a lot. I want to pause for a second. I want you to understand that the acronym MARIA is what's going to help you on the state exam. On the state exam, it might be a question like, of the following, which one is not a way to test if something is real or personal? Keyword here is which one is not. So you got to find the answer that does not belong there. And you'll know Maria. So you got to find something that does not relate to Maria. You got it? All right, good. Let's keep on going. Let's look here. There's an exception here. However, trade fixtures which are used in commercial properties, either to render services or make products, are always considered personal property. Example would be dental chairs, counters, heating units, shelving, or display cabinets used for the occupation. And listen again, you're going to definitely see this on your state exam. Trade fixtures. When it comes to fixtures, fixtures are attached. We already know that by definition, anything attached is what? Yeah, real property. Remains with the property. Anything attached is real property and remains with the property. However, trade fixtures, like those examples I just gave you, sure, we're going to bolt them down to the ground. Sure, we're going to put a giant freezer here for our business. Sure, we're going to put some barber chairs over there to cut people's hair and bolt them to the ground strong. And by definition, again, these trade fixtures, which are fixtures used for the trade, sure, they're real property. But this is the only exception whether or not, because they're being used for a particular reason for that particular business. The exam's going to say a trade fixture is real property. Trade fixtures are not real property. Trade fixtures were brought in, placed, for example, remember the word annexation? We attached it via annexation, but it's understood that this is just used for the business that I'm running. The minute this business closes down, I'm taking this stuff with me. Makes sense. Which was the exception to the rule when it comes to this stuff? Yeah, trade fixtures. Focus, you got this.